Hello and welcome to the MVMA webinar on how to record a webinar. First, we'll talk about your headset that you have either received through us or you will be using your own. If you have received your headset through the MVMA, feel free to go ahead and plug it into your USB port at this time. If this is your first time plugging in your headset to the USB, it might take a little while to download the driver. After you have downloaded the driver, you will want to go to your Start menu and then go ahead and go to Devices and Printers. Once it's opened, it will be the live chat at LX 3000. Go ahead and click on that. And you will want to make sure that the headset is set to default. You might have speakers currently set to default, but the headset will need to be set to default. And then you'll want to go to Properties and make sure that your balance levels are high on both your headset and your microphone. If it is switched to off, at some point in time that will actually cut off your headset or your microphone. So make sure both of these are switched to on. Okay, now that we have our headset working, let's go ahead and start out with the training. You'll be receiving an email to let you know that you have access to the website. You'll go ahead and check your email, and you'll receive an email that looks like this. And what you'll want to do is go ahead and click here where it says to register. And you'll go ahead and type in your username. And create a password. And it does give you some restrictions on the password. And then it should have populated your information here. If any of that is wrong, please go ahead and correct it at this time. And if your email address has changed or you would prefer to use a different one, please go ahead and provide that there. It's going to go ahead and have you say that you read the terms and conditions, and then go ahead and submit. Now this is the screen that you will see once you've been logged in, and you can go ahead and create an author profile. I would suggest going ahead and doing this at this time because any other webinars that you create, you'll go ahead and have this profile attached to it. Okay, and you can upload an image of yourself or a video bio if you'd like. Some author information you can enter about yourself, just your biography. So we have a little biography about me, and then you'll go ahead and add my professional contact details. And if you would like to go ahead and add a website or a phone number, you can. It is not required that you do that. You'll go ahead and save. And then email preferences, you can decide whether or not you would like to sign up for email. You don't have to do that either. Okay, and now that that has been completed, what you're going to go ahead and do is go up here to where it says Upload e-learning. And click Upload e-learning. And you're going to go, the first thing that you're going to do is actually name your presentation. And we went ahead and named the presentation. And now we're going to go ahead and upload our PowerPoint presentation. And what you're going to want to do is the first thing you're going to want to click on, even if you do have a video that you would like to present, you're going to want to click on this one, PPT, PDF, and Word document. That allows you to edit your information later on. So always click on this one and at least upload some file. You can delete it later if it's not a file that you would like to upload. Let me go ahead and get my file here that I want to upload. Okay, and it's going to show you how much has progressed on the file that's being uploaded here. And also it's going to ask if you'd like to make a PDF of this for trainees to download later on. So that's up to you whether or not you'd like to make that available to them. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Okay, and it's going to go ahead and download. It doesn't have to download right now, so we're going to go ahead and continue on with our presentation. Okay, and it lets you keep going. It just keeps the downloading button over here in the corner. This screen is asking if you'd like to allow additional course notes for your e-learning. So if you have some notes or extra slides that you'd like to add for information, you can go ahead and add that here. We do not, so we're going to go ahead and save. And here, this is where this populates your author information. So this will be populated for you from the information that we had entered earlier. So if you had an image that you wanted to upload, it would pop up right here, and then all of your other information will pop up down here in the author information box. The next thing that you'll want to fill out is a description of your e-learning, and it just has to be 20 characters or more. And once it's 20 characters, the little 20 characters box down here will go ahead and disappear. The next thing that you have to enter also is objectives. Okay, so we've done that. And this is any additional things that you would like to add or denote down here. You can also do that in the additional box. Now, e-learning expiration date, if you feel that your e-learning needs to expire, usually we have people leave this blank. You do not need to fill out anything here. If you feel it's only good for possibly a year or 2 years, you can go ahead and fill that out. But generally, I would go ahead and suggest just to go ahead and leave this blank. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and receive correspondence from your trainees or the people who would be viewing this webinar, you can via the email that you would have submitted earlier. You can go ahead and click yes. But if you would like to not receive any correspondence from anyone viewing the webinar, you can go ahead and click no. Now, here is where you would declare if you have any conflict of interest. So if there is a conflict of interest, you go ahead and click yes, and you can type in what the conflict of interest might be. If there is no conflict of interest, go ahead and click no. And once we are done, we're going to go ahead and save. And this brings us up to the specialty screen. This lets the viewer know what topic this webinar will be about. So if ours is going to be other, because it's just a webinar to make webinars, but yours is probably going to be more specific, so feel free to pick a category in which your webinar would apply. And after you're done, you can actually click more than one, so if it falls into multiple ones, then you can click multiple ones. And also you can suggest a new specialty if you'd like, by going ahead and clicking suggest new specialty and then typing in your response there and send. We're just going to go ahead and keep other for today. Okay? And then go ahead and click save. And here is where you would type in your exam questions. So your webinar will require an exam, and here is where you go ahead and type those questions in. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a test one just to let you know, see how it goes. And it only shows 2 right here, but if you click this plus button, you can go ahead and add more. Also, there is some different options over here on the side. You can go ahead and add a picture. select a video that possibly goes along with your question or answer. So you do have that option up here also for your question. You also have it for the answer too. And this is add feedback to an answer. So if somebody had some questions and they answered it wrong, you could add feedback to this answer that they had. If they had questions saying possibly this isn't the right answer, you could go ahead and give them suggestions on saying why it is the right answer or why this one is the wrong answer. And if you did submit possibly a wrong one, you can just go ahead and trash it too. So here are your options on how to create a quiz. Also, you need a correct answer. And you have to have 5 questions. Okay, now that we have saved our exam, we're going to go ahead and head to Author Tools. And because you entered a PowerPoint earlier, you have the option to use the Author Tools app on the screen. So go ahead and click here where it says click here to go to Author Tools. And this just gives you a little overview of the author tools that are offered. So if you feel free you want to go through this section and read a little bit more or learn a little bit more about them, you can. Otherwise, feel free to go ahead and continue on to the author tools. And here's our webinar that we had submitted earlier. And the PowerPoint is ready for us to go ahead and edit. And then we'll go ahead and upload the audio for this slide. You can go ahead and upload audio by clicking the record/upload audio of you presenting this slide. And it might ask you to get camera or microphone access. Just go ahead and click allow. And once you're ready to go ahead and record, click the record button. Then and now, advances in veterinary medicine. Once you are done, go ahead and click the stop button as you saw me do earlier. And it will play back what you had done by going ahead and clicking the play button. And if you are satisfied with your slide, you can go ahead and click save. Or if you would like to re-record, you can do so at this time by clicking re-record. Let's go ahead and save this audio though. Okay, and then it fast forwards you on to the next slide. So on this slide, let's go ahead and record another piece of audio just to get you guys familiar with this. And it might ask you to go ahead and allow again. Just go ahead and do that. And we can start recording. This slide talks about hand floats. Once you're done, go ahead and click stop again, and it will let you hear your recording. You can re-record and play this slide again if you'd like. Let's go ahead and save. And then it advances you on to the next slide. On this slide, there is another option that we have, and we can go ahead and record video. Right here records video of you presenting this slide. So if you would like to go ahead and be the one presenting this slide in person, you can go ahead and record video. We can do so at this time. And it's going to ask you again about the camera and microphone. It might take a little bit to access the microphone, but here I am recording the video for you. And once you're ready, go ahead and click record. And you can state what you'd like about the slide. And then once you're done, you can click stop. And it's going to go ahead and save your recording because you are doing it live. So once it's done, then you will have an option to go ahead and save that recording. And then you can also view it too. If you'd like to go ahead and play, you can go ahead and play yourself presenting the slide. And there is me presenting the slide. And once that is done, then you can go ahead and save it. Now that's been added to the slide. Now we have some other options that you guys will probably be using in your webinars. We have an upload a video option. And this allows you to upload a video clip. So we're going to go ahead and click on upload video and select the video that you would like to use. Okay, and we went ahead and selected our video, so we're going to go ahead and click open. And this is going to be save file and add as next slide. Okay, and this might take a little while depending on the size of your video, because it does take a little while to load videos sometimes, so we might have to wait while this buffers. Also, some other things that you can do, and I'm just going to let you know real quick, is you can add a reference. If you have any links that you'd like to reference to or make a reference for something that you had cited during your presentation, you can do so by clicking this. This will actually show up as your last slide in your e-learning, so if you'd like to add a reference, you can do so by clicking this button. Also, another thing that you can do is add a quiz. Let's go ahead and click that button at this time. The quizzes are something that is different than the actual quiz that we had talked about earlier. These are just quizzes in your presentation that keeps the audience interactive. So it allows them to interact and stay fresh on the topics that you're talking about in your webinar. So let's go ahead and ask a question. And you can ask the answers here. And you can add another answer too. And this one does not have a restriction, so you can add one slide. You don't have to add 10. You don't have to add 5 slides like you did the last time. You can just add one question at a time. So let's go ahead and save this question as the next slide and add it to the next slide. Oops, we have to go ahead and mark it as correct. Okay. So now that we've added the question, we'll go ahead, and another thing that you can do is you can add another slide. So if you are wanting to add another PowerPoint or another Word document or a PDF that you are wanting to add, you can do so at this time. We do not have anything, so we're going to go back and show you some other features. We do have a video URL that we'd like to add, so we can do that here. So if you don't have the actual physical video, the website for the YouTube, you can do that here by clicking this. You'll go ahead and pull up and copy this. You can just do right click and copy, and then go right click and paste and put that URL in there. Go ahead and test the link. It might take a little while to load, but then should go ahead and pop up with the video here. And you can test it to see if it plays correctly. I would go ahead and do that if I were you, just to make sure that the video is pulling up like you'd like. And then once it does, you click yes and add link to e-learning. Okay, and let's go ahead and preview our full slideshow so far. And click Start e-learning. And then you will see up here, right up here, this is where I am actually doing the talking. So once you guys start recording, you guys will actually be doing the talking here also. So your voice will be showing up. And then when I did the actual physical video, that is what's showing up over here on this corner. It's taking a little bit to load. It's buffering because we got a lot of stuff open right now. But once I'm done speaking, it will advance to the next slide automatically. So once you are done speaking on each of your slides with the audio, then you can go ahead and advance to the next slide. Now, you can see the slide right here. This slide does not have any audio on it, nothing at all. So if it is just a blank slide like this, they will need to go ahead and advance through to the next slide by clicking the next slide or clicking the space bar. So keep that in mind. We would really like there to be some sort of audio or some sort of visualization on these slides so that they run smoothly and they go on to the next slide. And then I think our next slide is actually going to be some of our video, so it might take a little bit to load since we have some other stuff going on here. And then if you go to the next slide, that's actually our quiz. So that actually shows the quiz that you had typed in earlier. So it actually gets them to interact with it and move on to the next slide. Okay, and then you can go ahead and play your video if you'd like. So also over here on the corner, the thing that I just clicked is actually the tabs to let you know where things are in your presentation. So we have a video here, we have our slideshows here, we have our link to the internet here, the speaker button up here. The speaker button actually lets you know that you've done recording on that slide. So speaker, and then over here the little person lets you know that you've done presentation via your recording via the webcam. So all the ones that do not have that let you know ones that you need to go ahead and get recordings for. And that's another tool for you to use when you have a lot of slides that you have to prepare for. Okay, and if you're done with that, you go ahead and click Exit. And then Time and Cover. And you can go ahead and use the default cover, which will most likely be the first slide of your PowerPoint presentation, or you can go ahead and upload a new image if you would like to upload a new image. And this right here lets you know how long of a duration that your PowerPoint is for, your webinar is for. If it doesn't seem like the right time, it should go ahead and auto-calculate how much time is allotted for this webinar, but it does do in increments of 15. So it won't be exact time, but it will be the calculation. So we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, and once we get down here to the accreditation, it's going to ask the accrediting organization with which this e-learning is done. It's going to ask, is this an accredited e-learning? And you're going to go ahead and say yes. And when you click down here, you're going to type in Missouri Veterinary Medical Association. And then you're going to specify how much CE is earned for this recording. So it's based on how long your recording is. So if your recording is a half hour, they will get half a CE credit. If your recording is an hour, they will get 1 credit of CE, and so on and so on. And then down here, are you permitted to show the MVMA logo? Just go ahead and always keep that as yes. And then confirm this accreditation details are entered correctly. You'll click that and add this accreditor. Once you're done, do you want to apply to any other accreditors for e-learning? Always click that as no, since it's already accredited. Okay, and to go ahead and submit your e-learning, you will need to go ahead and review your e-learning. So you can do so here. Now you don't necessarily need to watch all of it. You can go ahead and skim through and just make sure it's all okay. If I were you, I would go ahead and watch all of it for time purposes here. We're going to skip through. And if there is something that you realize here on these slides that you have done and you'd like to go ahead and change it, you can always go back up to the author tool at any time. And I would just go ahead and review your quiz too, just to make sure. It's not going to make you take it. It's just going to show you the right answers and the question. You're going to distribute it. And you will go ahead and it says distribute your e-learning through our global CE pool. Go ahead and click yes. This option allows your CE to be put out to all different networks on this website. So it offers people to come in either from third world countries or from around the world, even in our own home state of Missouri, to go ahead and view this e-learning and use it for educational purposes. It's going to say, is this e-learning suitable for continuing education, or is it more for general veterinary education? And I would go ahead and select it's for continuing education, since that is the purposes that we're going to go ahead and do these e-learnings through. And then is your e-learning suitable for trainees outside of the United States? The reason it's asking this question is because the system actually gives a discount to third world countries who are trying to better their veterinary practices. So if you would like to go ahead and offer this, or you think this is suitable for somebody who is doing education in third world countries, go ahead and click yes. And we're going to go ahead and click save. And it's going to ask you a question. Do you feel that this e-learning may be appropriate for other industries? I would just go ahead, unless you feel it might be valuable on these other fields, just go ahead and click none, and go ahead and click save. And here you go. We are finally at the end of it. And it says before you're published, you want to go ahead and submit your e-learning. Here we go. Go ahead and click that box, and then go ahead and click submit. And then this is, now that you've went ahead and clicked submit, this e-learning will actually be submitted to reviewers. And the reviewers will go over your e-learning and see if it is suitable for the system and see if there's any changes that need to be made. Here can be some comments that you give to those reviewers to allow you, if you have anything that you would like to state about your e-learning, any specific things, or any kind of questions that you might have had also. So you can go ahead, if you don't have any comments, go ahead and click submit. And there you go. We have your e-learning right here on your front page, and it is going to say awaiting review. And that is going to allow the MVMA office to go ahead and review the webinar and see if there's anything that needs to be changed or any kind of questions that they have. And once it's been approved, then it will go ahead and be submitted to the website. And that is the end of our webinar today. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact the MVMA. You can contact us via email at mvma@movma.org or by phone at 573-636-8612. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.